you know what? My life is fucking miserable. I hate my fucking life. I hate it. Yeah, I stream for rent money. I don't like streaming. I am fucking depressed and fucking miserable. I don't sleep. I eat like shit. I have no friends, no social life, and I'm fucking miserable. There it is.
I'm a complete and utter failure, dude.
I don't know what the deal is, but I hate you guys. I hate you guys. I hate my community. I hate you guys. Holy fucking shit, I hate human race. I hate the human race.
I don't care anymore. I'm washed up. I don't enjoy anything. I'm bad at everything. I just whatever, man. Whatever.
Hell, dude. I've been through hell. I hate doing this. I fucking hate streaming, and I hate my community, and I hate you guys. This, man! Fuck this! DMing me about my mom being in the fucking hospital for a week, that she's fucking dying, and I have you fucking cocksuckers saying, oh, fake fucking rage is doing it to get fucking rent money, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm never coming back. Fuck you guys.
What's the fucking point?
Yeah, I stream for rent money, you fucking cocksuckers. I streamed for free for fucking years. When I had 5K viewers, I wasn't making any money. You fucking cocksuckers. So fuck all of you. All of you. I hate you all. I hate streaming. Fuck you all. I stream for rent money. Yeah, I didn't fucking get paid.
I can't fucking believe this, dude. I had 2,000 subs, man, and now it's fucking gone. Like, what's the point?
I used to fucking have passion for this shit. I hate my life. There it is. I hate my fucking life.
You got my support. Everyone who loves Dylan, donate $5.
I'm thinking right now. Give me a second. Okay, so it's a million different directions that I could go with that video. And for starters, I have no idea who he is, his situation, or anything like that. I purposefully chose not to look into him because I want to make a greater point essentially with this video. Okay, so it's so many things we could talk about. All right, so the first thing that I will say when it comes to because I seen somebody in the comment section be like, this is like a video for mental health. And the first thing that I would say is that Americans don't give a fuck about mental health at all. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Americans, it's one of those things where it's like we say that we care about mental health. You know, it's one of those things where it's like they'll say Black Lives Matter. There's so many, buzzwords and phrases and all types of different things that we say that we care about, what we really don't. The mental health organizations that are out there, most of them aren't really that well run. Most of them, the people who get into them, they may have started out with good intentions, but eventually they get to the point where they prioritize, money over actually helping the people that they're meant to help. So the facilities that people are supposed to go to aren't well run. The people in them aren't the best. The people in them honestly aren't that qualified to begin with. You have an organization like YouTube or Google or any big major corporation, they'll put out a post, oh, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. But what the fuck does that mean? It's just a buzzword, it's a hashtag. People in the comment section may say something that people can relate to and actually apply to their lives. But for the most part, these corporations don't care. It's just something that people say and use to get attention and to get notoriety. Now let's talk about mental health itself and my personal opinion on it. So I feel as though in life it's like two categories, and this is just my personal experience. This isn't necessarily data driven, but from my personal experience, what I have seen in my life is that there are typically two categories of people. The first category are people who you can kind of pull back to the side of having relatively a stable level of mental health. And then there's the other side where at this current point in time, I don't even have an answer for how you would get some people back, once they passed a certain point. And what I mean by that is the first person, we've kind of built this society off of depression and sadness. I remember back in high school, there were rappers like Juice WRLD, Lil Uzi Vert, and they would make this music where it's all about sadness, depression. Oh, I can't get a girl. Oh, I don't have any money, I'm not famous, my life sucks, like blah blah blah. Like there's a whole culture, there's a whole community out there that propagates and promotes sadness. You look at the movies, you look at the TV shows. When you look at the best moments of movies and TV shows, for the most part, it's a sad moment. It's a character death. It's a moment where characters lose something. Now, part of that is because you know, in a sense, the message that they're trying to push is that you can take an L, you can take a loss, but still persevere and push through it. But, you know, a problem that I just see and I feel like in society is that all across the board when it comes to TV shows, music, everything, it's all sadness, depression, black and white. If you go look at Apple Music right now, all of the top albums are in black and white. I remember there's a rapper named Lil Durk. He came out a few years ago with this album called Almost Healed. And then the Freemasonic, you know, album cover is him with one eye symbolism, and he's hurt and bruised, and it's called Almost Healed, and the whole album is about sadness and depression and stuff like that. So again, the main point that I'm trying to make is that I feel like society kind of pushes this shit up to certain people. This is category one of people who I feel like you can pull it back. I'll mention a guy. This was a guy I went to high school with, and he's a suicidal, depressed type of guy. And I feel like the reason why that's the case is because he tried to become like a big celebrity that didn't work out, and he's never had a girlfriend before. He's tried to get girls to love him, but none of them have loved him, and it's led him into the position that he's in today. And he's sort of sad and depressed because mainly he couldn't get a girl, and he didn't turn out to be a celebrity like he dreamed to be. I understand that everyone has their own life perspective and things of that nature, but I don't feel as though you should be depressed because you can't become a celebrity. You should be depressed because you can't get a woman, a man or a woman, depending on your gender or whatever you're into. I feel like that shouldn't disqualify you and just push you into depression. And I feel like a lot of youth fall into this category where it's like, I'm not famous, depression comes. I don't have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, depression comes. And I feel like that's just gotta go. That should not be the end all be all, that if you don't have this one thing right here, it's going to instantly lead you to depression. Now, the good part about this category of people is that these people you can bring back to the light. You can eventually reach them and get them back to a stable mental health sort of status. I went through something a little similar, not to the extreme level of the person that I'm talking about, but you know, I remember my life before I had Nyla, and I remember my life after I had Nyla. And it's just two completely different things. Once you get a good, strong woman beside you, it'll completely change your life. So I feel like those type of people, you can do something like get them a partner, get them some level of fame, a YouTube or whatever. Like, I feel like those type of people you can bring back to the light. This other category of people who I don't have an answer for how you get them back. And the person in this video, the YouTube streamer, I don't necessarily know how you get a guy like this back. And these type of people, they go through real trauma. They lose a loved one. They have financial debt out of hell. They have in some cases living paycheck to paycheck. Like, they go through some real serious shit. Betrayed, stabbed in the back, all types of different stuff. And in this video, he talked about, like, I stream for money. I do YouTube for money, he said. Which I think is kind of alluding to, like, the idea that he probably doesn't have that much money, but he's doing this just trying to get by, barely making it. He mentioned something about his mom almost passing away and her being in the hospital or something like that. So I feel like with what he's going through, it's not a simple fix like the other people, where it's like the other people kind of walk themselves into depression and you can walk them right back out of that. And I feel like a person like this, he probably was, you know, living his regular life, everything going great. And then he just gets hit with something like his mom almost passing away or financial troubles. It's really hard to pull somebody back, you know, when they go through something like that. Even, you know, in my case, when with my girlfriend passing away, I personally don't even, you know, I'm a really introspective person who thinks a lot, and I don't even directly have an answer as to how I get myself out of this situation. I've thought of thousands of things, but I don't really know how I'll make it out of this myself. And when I look at this person, I think it's probably one of those same type of ways where it's like he was just living life, gets hit with something, and now he's got to figure out how to make it work, how to get through life. And you know, it's tough. One thing that I will say though, and this is a huge point to make, is that when people get into a suicidal, depressed state, and I really want y'all to listen to me, this is huge. You have to force them to do things, okay? A suicidal depressed person, if you leave them up to their own devices, they're going to sit in their house every day, play video games, watch YouTube, watch movies. They're not going to go out. They're not going to do anything. They're going to sit in their home and fall even deeper and deeper and deeper into their depression. You have to call them 20 times a day. You have to text them 20 times a day. You have to go over to their house and say, hey, let's go on a little walk. Let's go on a car ride. You know, something simple, something small. If you really care about this person and you see them falling into this state of despair, depression, whatever, anxiety, whatever you want to call it, you have to actively push them out, because I feel like what I've seen from a lot of people in life is that they'll just be so hands off when it comes to the issue. Like, let's say somebody's mother passes away, right? What most people in society will do is they'll be like, in the beginning, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. They'll shoot them a text, they'll call them or whatever. And then, 2 months, they don't speak for them for 2 months. And then they come in back and be like, oh, how are things going? Blah, blah, blah. They're really hands off. But what I'm saying is that when that person loses someone or goes through something major, there is a short period of time where you do have to give them space, okay? You have to understand this person and what they're going through and try to see things from their perspective. That's a big thing. Motherfuckers be trying to look at shit from their perspective, but they don't apply that same energy to the other person. What are they thinking? If their grandma has passed away and they were really close with their grandmother, why are they feeling the way that they feel right now? What are they looking to do in the future? Do they even want to care about it's so many, it's so many things that you can talk about with a scenario like that. And I feel like that's a big thing where people just don't even look at the other person's perspective. They try to look through their lens at the other person, and I feel like that's wrong. So again, the main point that I was trying to make right there is that if you see someone who's going through something like this, there is a certain period of time where you have to be hands off, because if you're too much, they'll probably get annoyed and stop wanting to be around you. But you just have to find that proper balance to make sure you're actively in their life. You're actively around them. You have to force them to get out. Trust me on this. I'm telling y'all. They may be like, oh no, I don't want to go on a walk. But as soon as you come over to their house and go on a walk with them or go on a car ride, they'll be not necessarily thankful for it afterwards, but I feel like the likelihood of them feeling slightly better versus how they were before is a higher chance than just letting them, do what they're doing on their own. And that's what we want in the end. When you go through shit like that, it's all about baby steps. You got to take one step at a time. And again, I don't have the answers to save people yet, but I do feel as though constantly being around them, checking up on them, and forcing them to do things is a start. Now, in terms of the other stuff that he said in the video about not having friends, I feel like that really depends on, your psychology, the cognitive science inside of your brain. Because I've met some people who genuinely could be alone and thrive. They don't need friends. They don't even need family. They may need, one person, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, maybe one really close friend. But outside of that, they'll do just okay. So there are some people who can really be alone and be just fine. There are other people who kind of need that community around them to be able to push through things. And it's a very nuanced and interesting topic. They say in the science community, I don't necessarily fully agree with it, but in the cognitive science community, they claim that most people need other human beings, need a community around them to be fine. They say that humans are naturally a social creature. And I can understand some of the evidence and science behind it, but I don't necessarily fully agree because, again, with my own anecdotal experience, I've seen too many situations where people are just A-okay with being by themselves. But, again, in this scenario with this streamer, he seems to fall into the other category where he probably wants friends, because if you're complaining about the fact that you don't have any friends, it's probably an assumption that you can make that that person wants friends to help them out in some sort of way. So, it's a tough situation with him. In the video, he said, again, mama might not make it, financial troubles on the way, no friends, hates his job, hates streaming. Like, this is literally in the comment section I read. This is literally a video on, like, mental health awareness. But again, nobody really gives a fuck about mental health to begin with. So it's, like, really tough to even have this conversation. Because I say, like, I feel like I'm my own best therapist, to be completely honest with y'all. And it's really tough to live in a society where we have so many therapists out there who aren't good at their job, who don't help out society as a whole, and if anything, they make situations worse. And you know, like this guy, what source, where does he go to get help for mental health? If he types it in on YouTube, he's gonna find some bullshit that doesn't even help him. If he goes to his friends, they'll probably just leave him alone and push him away and not really help him out. I know in this scenario he doesn't have any friends, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's like, what do you do when you have no other options, no help, no support, and you're just dying trying to get out of a situation? I don't have an answer for that, but in this video we touched on it a little bit. And you know, who knows, one day, you know, hopefully with this YouTube channel, I'm hoping with these type of videos I can push a certain message and agenda out there. So hopefully maybe one day I'll be able to find answers for people so that when they go through a situation like me where you lose the love of your life, they may be a bit more well equipped than I was to deal with something like that. But that's basically everything in this video. Please make sure that you guys like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 7K, and I am out.